Welcome to the Talent Show. People, how y'all living? Hope all is well. Hope everything is going well in you guys' lives. Again, I want to say thank you for your continued support and love over the last couple of weeks. Man, it's been so surreal just being down in a new environment and getting the love and support I've been getting. So thank you guys for the words of encouragement and just the love that you've been sending my way. It means a lot to me, and that you guys can just support my dream, and it just truly means a lot to me. So appreciate you guys for that. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for this week, Miss Bre'Amber Scott. Woo-hoo! First off, before I get into things, I always say this when I have someone not only from Arkansas but from Little Rock. It's really dope for me to talk with you guys, connect with you guys because I always say it's like an honor to get out of Little Rock and make it out of Little
Yeah,
Rock and follow your dreams no matter what it is, sports, whatever it is you made out of Little Rock. I feel like that's such an accomplishment. So I just want to give you your props on that because not everyone can do that and it means so much to me when people get to do it.
yeah, appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right, first off, how's everything treating you? How's life going for you right now? I know you got a lot going on right now.
Man, life is good. I've been real busy getting ready for the season, just doing a whole bunch of different interviews and going to different places and really just getting ready for the season.
Yeah.
But life is good. I can't complain. Blessed to be in this position that I'm in, so I can't complain at all.
I'm so glad that I reached out when I did because there's so many hoopers. I know the season is coming up, and when the
Yeah,
season comes in, you guys are locked in. There's no
it's
trying to
tough.
quit. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to reach out when I did. I got to, and I was like, I got to get it before the season starts because I know you guys have so much going on when the season starts. Bree, for the listeners and the viewers that may not know a lot about you, give them a brief overview about yourself, where you're from, some things you've been able to accomplish to help you where you get to, or just give them a brief overview about yourself so they can get comfortable with you.
Like you said, so I'm Bree Sky. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, born and raised. Um, I grew up in Southwest Little Rock, and so I went to high school at the Little Rock Central. You got to put D in front of it. And I had a great career there. Went on to play 2.5 years at Mississippi State. Um, Great accomplishments there. Couple championships. Was able to go to the Final Four. And then after that, that summer before I left, I was able to play on Team USA. Um, and then I went home to Little Rock. I came back to Little Rock for probably, I would say like a full year, but as far as just being in Little Rock, it was probably like a semester. That's where I ended up getting my degree from. And then I made my way to Texas Tech, where I am today. And last year was rough. I had an injury where I had to have surgery, and so I was only playing about 8 games. But now I'm fully healthy and ready to have a great senior year, man.
Brie, what was it like growing up in Little Rock? For me, it's like nostalgic to talk about it, but there's people out there that never been to Arkansas. They don't know anything about Little Rock. So what was Little Rock like? What was Southwest like? And how did it mold and shape you to the person that you are today?
Yeah, man. Growing up in Little Rock is tough. I'm not gonna lie. Just because of everything that you have going on around you. Like I said, it's just a lot of people know Little Rock when they hear Little Rock, they're like, "Oh, it's dangerous."
Mm-hmm.
It is dangerous. There is a lot of violence that goes on, but sports really helped me
Yeah.
personally stay out of a lot of trouble. So, growing up, like I said, it was tough. If you surrounded yourself around of good people, though, and people who wanted to see you successful and succeed in life, then you can make it out. And so that was just really what happened for me. I was around the right people for most of the part. Like in middle school, I was in a lot of trouble, like just being bad in school, just being bad, just being a kid from Little Rock, typical kid from Little Rock. And I really just my AAU coach really took me under his wing. My mom really was like, "You really good at this. Like this can get you out of this environment and those type of things." And so I really just found my way around the right people. And so it helped me get to where I am today. And if you're not around the right people, but if you really want to do it yourself, you can still do it. But it helps if you have their support system around you to help you get to where you want to be.
When did you start playing sports? What age did that start? And when did you start playing basketball and taking it seriously as well?
So I started playing when I was in third grade. So I say I was about 8 or 9. And it was really just because my cousin, he played every sport there was. And so, but I really just fell in love with basketball. And honestly, I didn't start taking basketball serious until about ninth grade. Like, it's
Wow.
crazy because I got my first offer in eighth grade, but ninth grade is really when I realized, like, okay, like
Mhm.
you can really go somewhere for real with this. And so I started to take it more seriously. And yeah, it's been great. Great choice, Bree. Great decision.
You've already mentioned a little bit about family, and it's family is something that I mention and kind of talk about so much because my family is literally my backbone. They are my best friends.
Yeah.
Talk about your parents and your surrounding, your family and your friends, how much they meant to you growing up, and how much you relied on them to keep you pushed and motivated to continue being where you wanted to be at.
Yeah. So starting with my family, man, like they are literally my backbone. Being an athlete and especially like at the level that I'm on and like just being known. Um, at times it gets rough just because there's so much pressure on you. People
Hmm.
expect you to do great things, and people understand that you still gonna have bad days. You still gonna make mistakes. And so my mom, my siblings, my dad, my uncles, I mean just my family in general, they are always there for me. I call my mom crying at any moment. She gonna pick up the phone, checking on me, making sure I'm good. She try her best to come and see me as much as she can. And it's just family is so important to me because I know if I don't have anybody else, I have my family. They've been there through it all, good times, bad times. And they just, I really rely on them a lot. And as far as my friends go, I've been blessed to have a great group of friends. So just my five core friends that I've been knowing since middle school and high school is one is Kristen Williams, you got Kennedy Allen, Tori Lasker, Sydney Williams, and then Tristan Lasker as well. Man, we've been friends for so long, and like being females, it's hard to keep a friend group because somebody's always jealous. Somebody thinks that this person is doing better than this one. It's just drama with females, but we've been so tight and so connected since we were younger. And just to speak on like having that friend, that the people around you to keep you motivated and going, like Kristen just got drafted
Hmm.
to play for the Washington Mystics. Me and her talked so much about just making it out, being from Arkansas, being able to play on the biggest stage, and doing something for ourselves, not just for us, but for the younger generation. And so, like, just her in particular, just because we're like the two that's still playing. Um, she's helped me out a lot, and she just keep me motivated. We keep each other motivated. And my other friends, they are teachers now, and so it's just like we just continue to motivate each other to strive to do better things, but we all want to give back to the youth in our community. You can see that with the other two being teachers, and then Kristen just trying to make an impact as a girl from Little Rock, Arkansas, who made it to the league. You know what I'm saying? It's just having those type of people around you since you were little, and you are still friends now. It's just like that's hard to come by, especially as females. And so I'm really grateful for that friend group because we lean on each other for a lot, and we, you know, have all took the same path to get to where we want to be in life, and so they can just relate to me, and we can relate to each other. So those are like my five closest friends, and I just appreciate them too, just as much as my family and my sisters.
How important is it to have people like that by
Hmm.
your side, not only to motivate you and make you want to work harder, but to have a shoulder to lean on when you need it? How important is it to have people like that around you?
Ooh, that is extremely important. Because the times that I may not want to do it, they remind me of all the things that we've been through together, the reasons that I may need to continue to do it. Like they just remind you of the little things, and um, it's better coming from somebody that you've been through the
Hmm.
ropes with, because they can relate to you and they understand where you're coming from on the days that you might not want to do it. And so just having them there for me during those moments, it's like we done been through everything together basically. Like we went through the same path trying to get to where we want to. So they understand, like when I'm having a bad day, they get where I'm coming from, but at the same time, they want me to do better, not only for myself, but for my family and for him. And so it's just the encouragement and people that you can relate to that's going through the same things that you go through as a student athlete in particular. And just, it's nothing like having somebody going through that with you and being there for you at the same time.
Man, the Central High School. I know you told me you say
The
a lot
Little
of
Rock
that.
Central High School.
I have a good friend. He just graduated from Central, and he watches about every episode, and so he makes sure I do this does the same thing for them as well. But
Yeah.
what was that? What was that culture like? What was the environment like putting on that jersey? And I just say that because not only is Central one of the top basketball schools in the city, but it's historically known, and that
Yeah.
adds a lot of more pressure on you. What was the culture like in high school for you? And on top of that, how much fun was it just playing in high school? Nothing to really worry about, just having fun on the court with your girls.
Yeah. So I played high school with most of my AAU teammates. So we
Oh wow.
mostly all went to Central.
Mhm.
And so we just was always used to winning. And Coach Green did a great job of keeping that winning culture from AAU to high school, like keeping us together and those type of things. But when you represent a school like Central, there's a lot that comes with it. And especially when we were as good as we were, there's a lot of expectations. But I just feel like being at Central alone, like you're a part of history. No matter like if you're there now, if you was there before me, like you'll always be a part of history just because of what the school means. And so we really had the community behind us. Our principal was great. We just worked hard, man. Like we wanted to just do something special for the city. Like when I was in high school, our games was packed. Like
Mhm.
the girls' games was just as packed, if not more, as the boys' games. And so like we really gave people something to look forward to, and we took pride in that. Like going out there and just playing the best that we could every night, and just really trying to bring a championship to Central. We wasn't able to do that as at the state level, but we brought a lot of championship to Central and like national attention and those type of things. And so just playing for Central, it's something that I will always remember. And I'm proud to be able to say that I went there, played there, and graduated from there just because of what Central means to people and to the world.
When you get that schedule at the beginning of the season, is there any specific team or player that you're like, this is who I'm most excited for, this is going to be the best game we play this season? Is there any specific team that you kind of catches your eye before the season starts?
Oh yeah, for sure. So our rivalry is Texas. And then, like I said, I played at Mississippi State 2.5 years, and the coach that I played for is the coach at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so just thinking off the top of my head, Texas game is the one that I have
Yeah.
circled, of course. Excited for it. It'll be a great game, great rivalry game. We'll have a great crowd and hopefully, get the dub.
I want you to talk about your recruiting process in high school. You talked about your first offers in eighth grade. Why didn't you stay in state maybe and stay in Arkansas to kind of pursue
Yeah.
something in state? What was it about Mississippi State and Coach Schaefer that allowed you to go to Mississippi and pursue dream there?
Yeah. So I got my first offer in eighth grade. It was from Missouri State. And just ever since that first offer, like more and more just kept coming in. And so I got offers from Little Rock, Arkansas State, like all of those schools. But Arkansas didn't offer me actually out of high school. They would come to practices and do all those things, but they actually didn't offer me. And listen, the coach is there now. Me and him are have a great relationship. We're cool, but he wasn't there when I was in high school.
Hmm.
So we'll just leave it at that. But they didn't offer me, and I had a couple other Power Five schools and those type of things. But what was interesting about Mississippi State is that Roshunda Johnson, that's
Hmm.
also from Little Rock, she
Yeah.
played at Parkview. She was there, and then the assistant coach, Coach Johnny Harris, she's from Pine Bluff. She was on the staff as well, and so just going up there to the campus, I knew I wanted to compete and play at a high level. They had just won the national championship game the year before I got there, and they were like top five in the nation, all those things. And I feel like I just really fit into their system. And I feel like that was one of the most comfortable situations that I could go into coming out of high school, just with the people already being there that I knew and those type of things. And when I got there, it ended up being 3 players from Arkansas on the team, including me. So we had Jordan Danberry, who had transferred from Arkansas to Mississippi State. So Mississippi State just felt right.
Mm-hmm.
I was comfortable going in as a freshman just because I knew that I had people there from Arkansas that I could lean on that were upperclassmen that could help me a lot. And so that really played a part in my decision in going to Mississippi State. And like I said, I just wanted to compete at the highest level. And I was able to do that.
Can I ask you, because whether you realize it or not, there are young girls that have looked at your game, looked at your interviews, and are trying to grow and learn from you. What advice would you give to young girls that are trying to play Division I basketball and are trying to reach the next level? What advice would you give to them to help them reach the next level of basketball?
Yeah, I really just tell them to really work on your game every day. Don't listen to the negative things that people have to say about you because this game is all about confidence. And you have to have confidence in yourself before anybody else can have confidence in you. Just continue to work hard, dream big. Don't put limitations on where you think that you can go just because of where you at or how tall you are. Always dream big, and just keep working and get that support system around you. Your support system is so important because you're not going to always have a good game, but those people that support you are always going to build you up. They'll tell you the things that you need to see, need to hear, but at the same time, they'll build you up. And so just get that group around you, 5 or 6 people, and just work hard, man. Work hard. College coaches love a player that's going to work hard, play hard. They don't have to coach effort. And so I would just say, just continue to work on your game, dream big, and believe in yourself.
I appreciate that, because what I'm doing is not only pursuing a career that's allowing people like yourself to have a platform to share their stories on, but again, there are young girls that are looking at your game and are trying to learn
Mm-hmm.
from your game, and they may not have ever gotten the chance to get advice from
Yeah.
you or hear advice from you. So I love when people can do that because it's raw and authentic, and I really want people to grow from what they're hearing. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
When you were transitioning from high school to college, what were some of the biggest things? What were some of the toughest things for you from leaving Arkansas to going to a new place, new environment, all by yourself? What were some of the toughest transition parts for you?
I would just say being away from home, going into a new world when you all by yourself, really. You have to make grown up decisions as a freshman and all those things. And then I would just say probably just getting used to the day to day schedule of a student athlete. You got to wake up on your own, go to class, go to study hall, go to weights, go to condition, go to practice, all of those things. And it can be tiring. It can get like overwhelming at first, but it's just, I feel like once you get into it, you get the rhythm. You'll find you upperclassmen that'll take you up under your their wing and those type of things. But really, just being away from home, I'm a big family person,
Yeah.
and so I struggled really a lot being away from home at first. Luckily, I was only 4.5 hours away, where I could go back or they could come up. But that was my biggest thing, just being away from home and really adjusting to the schedule of the day-to life, everyday life of a student athlete.
You read my mind, and I'm so glad that you talked about your schedule.
Yeah.
You can do it like it doesn't matter when, like if you're Mississippi State, UALR, even now Texas Tech. Like, what's your schedule? Like, what time do you get up? What time do you have weights, lifts, classes, practices? Like, what's your day to day schedule like? Like, what's a day to day schedule like for you?
I'm gonna take it back to freshman year because right now I have the great privilege of having all my classes online. So my schedule is pretty good right now. But during off season, preseason, you waking up around 5:30 in the morning,
Mm.
weights or conditioning at 6, and then you may have breakfast, and then you go to weights, and then you have class, and then you have practice, and then you will have study hall, and then you would go home and do it all over again. So I would say I'll wake up probably around 5:30 in the morning, to make weights by 6. And by the time I would make it home, it would have probably been 8:30 at night. During that time, you just gotta still do any homework you didn't get done in study hall, maybe eat, take a shower. By the time I'm done with all that, it's probably about 10:30, 11. It's time to go to bed because you got to get up again by 5:30. I will say a lot of people say, "Oh, do student athletes get free time?" Yes, you have free time. It's just all about the way that you manage your time. We are humans. We do like to, go out and have fun. But most of your time as an athlete is spent in the gym in some type of way. Um, but yeah, that's the life. But then when the season starts, the morning stuff goes away mostly. And you mainly just going to weights and practice. And then depending on your GPA will determine if you continue to have how many ever hours of study hall and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. And so when the season start, it's a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more time for you to really have to yourself. But at the same time, you still just need to make sure that you stay on top of your work. So the time that they did give you back, you don't lose by them having to put you in mandatory study halls and those type of things.
I want to ask this because I feel like, especially for women's basketball, just the negativity on like social media for you guys and professional girls as well is just honestly disgusting. Um, and I want your take on, because honestly I love women's basketball.
Yeah.
I watch college basketball all the time, and I watch women's basketball more than I really watch men's college basketball. How do you let things like that perceive you? Do you let negativity and criticism kind of deceive who you are, what you are? And if when you receive things like that, how do you kind of just brush it off and keep going about yourself?
Yeah. So honestly, since my freshman year to now, things have changed and has grown a lot. And if I'm just being honest, my freshman to sophomore, junior year, I was at Mississippi State, so I kind of got a different point of view of things like that because we did go to the national championship. We did like bring championships and those type of things there, and like we were the best team on that campus, and so we didn't really receive a lot of hate or like disrespectful things saying like, oh, she should be in the kitchen, like those type of things, just because we were the team to look at. But now that I'm at Texas Tech and we're trying to get on the same level as the men, it's just the respect that certain people have
Yeah.
for women is like way lower than the respect that they have for men. And it's just at times it can get really frustrating, but at the same time, I try to turn everything into positivity and use it as motivation. So when somebody's saying, "Oh, she need to do this, she need to do that, or she can't do this," "Oh, she had one good game and now it's back to this," I just use it as motivation to prove them wrong because the more you prove people wrong, the madder they get. But if you mad for the right reason, because now I'm doing what you said I can't do, then you
Yeah.
just mad because I'm doing what you said I couldn't do, then hey, more power to me. I'm gonna keep doing it. But you just gotta try to block that out. And a lot of that comes with your support system because there's been times I'm like, Ma, this da da da, this da da da. She like, don't worry about it. And you can't really respond to people on the internet as an athlete. And so
Yeah.
a lot of times when I'm frustrated about things like that, when people say, I'll go vent to my mom or my family and my friends and get everything off my chest to them instead of going to the internet and responding back to them, which is what they want. So I just really use it as motivation. And if I do have a problem with it, I won't say anything to them. I'll go vent to my people.
Can I ask you to give a piece of advice about athletes and what they post on social media, because that is so
Yes.
important for you guys to watch what you do and what you post and who's around you, whatever you're doing around you. How important is that
Yes.
for you guys?
That is so important because as an athlete, you're in the spotlight more than any human. So anything that you do, whether it was years ago, whether it was today, tomorrow, it will be found, it will be seen, and people are just waiting on you to mess up because they just feel like athletes get whatever they want, they have it their way, they think they're above people. And so any little thing that you put out is going to be out there forever. You may think, oh, I just deleted it. Well, we all see the shade room. You might think you deleted something, but then they say tweet has been since removed and those type of things. So anything you put out there will stick with you. And then the people that you're around is so important because your image is so important, especially in today's world where we have NIL. And so things that you post, the way you present yourself, all of that could be something that makes a deal or breaks a deal. And so your image is so important, who you are, the university that you're representing, all of that is important. When you think that nobody's watching, like where you at, who you around, they see those things. They see it all just because you're automatically in the spotlight, whether you want it or not. Like people are going to know who you are and they're going to want to see what you're doing. They're really nosy with athletes. Like they want to dig and find anything that they can. So it's really important that you just be around the right group of people. You post the right things, and there'll be people at your school that will help you with those things to let you know what's to post, what not to post, and just continue. There's people that watch your page and all those things, and just really be mindful of things that you post because you are your brand now. Like NIL is here. Like what you present yourself is what you're going to be seen as. And so you want to give people a reason to want to come after you to possibly get deals and those type of things. But then just the respect that you have for yourself as a person, for who you are and your family. You don't want to put nothing out there that can get back or make you, your university, or your family look bad.
That's so important. I completely like. Honestly, you guys have a lot more on that image now with NIL. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really big piece of it now. Um, and honestly, I think NIL is good to an extent, but that makes I feel like a lot more pressure on you guys as well too to try
Yeah.
to be that perfect picture at all times. Um, I can just tell your Little Rock is just all on you. Like I can just get the Little Rock vibe
Yes,
off of you.
man. Like when I go home, of course, I'm in college. I'm a young adult. I like to go out with my friends and do all those things, but we are so mindful of like the things that we do while we out. We're very aware of our surroundings and all those things, just because like in the blink of an eye, it can all just be go wrong. It can all be taken away, and just because people know who you are, and even it's sad to say, even at home, like people are still rooting for you to fall. Like they rooting for your downfall, and so I'm very aware. My mom always tells me, like, she's like, I'm happy when you come home, but at the same time, it's just so much going on in Little Rock that it's like, man, I'll be ready for you to go back to school. But that's one thing that I'm very aware of when I go home, with my surroundings, the people that I'm out with, the things that I'm doing when I'm out, just because I know people are always watching.
I want to ask you, what's your music taste like? What are some of your artists, some of your favorite songs, and also like before a game, what are you listening to get you ready for the game?
Yeah, so I like to listen to gospel, hip hop, and R&B. I really have an old soul. Lately, I've been on my R&B wave. I've been listening to Tyrese. I've been listening to Cupid 1112. Um, Charlie Wilson, like a lot of R&B old school things. But before a game, typically I'll go gospel first just to calm myself, get myself down, bring myself back to earth. And then I'll turn up with some like Finesse Two Times,
Okay,
NBA Youngboy,
okay.
PMEJB from the Biddy,
People don't know that one.
um, just stuff that's gonna give me where I need to be. Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. And then I kind of like when I go back, I'll probably go to like some R&B, probably some Monica, some who else? Fantasia,
Mm.
Mary J. Like I'm all over the place, but for game day specifically, it'll probably go gospel, R&B, and then hip hop.
Valid. I like that. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's very authentic. Bree, why after 2 years in Mississippi State, why did you decide to transfer? What was that
Yeah,
thought process
man.
like?
So when I was at Mississippi State, it's crazy because everybody seen me doing so good. Like, I mean, I was playing great. accomplishing great things, but I just wasn't happy, you know. There was a lot of things that go on behind closed doors that people don't see. And from a mental standpoint, I just felt like I just needed to move on for my mental health purposes. And so it was just a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that, people don't see. And so I just feel like for me personally, it was just best for me to get out of that situation and go back home, which is why people were like, they were sad when I left Mississippi State, but shout out to the fans there, man. They showed nothing but love, like all on Twitter, everything. When I announced that I was leaving, there was no hate. It was all like, we're gonna follow you. Like, we hate that you're leaving. Like, we just enjoy watching you play, all those type of things. But I think if I would have went somewhere besides going home, it would have may have been a little different. But since I went home, the love was there. You know what I'm saying? I really just needed to be back around my family and really come back to who I was as a person, lock back in with myself, really. It was more so about me just getting back to Bree and not the Bree that I was while I was there. And so that was just the best decision for me at that time. And you're probably gonna say, what made me leave Little Rock, huh?
I was gonna get to that, but not yet.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
you
it was
can.
just I just needed to get back home and get around people who really had my best interest in heart, care for me, and all those things.
What did you learn about yourself after leaving Mississippi State and going back home? What were some of the things that you kind of learned that you picked up before you got to college?
I learned that I was stubborn.
Mm.
I learned that I hold in a lot of stuff instead of talking to somebody and letting it out. And I learned that that's not the way to go about things. And I just learned that how strong and reliable my family is and how important they are to me. I thought those are the three things that I learned.
Okay, now I want to ask you, why did you decide to get out of Little Rock once again and go somewhere else? And why did Texas Tech? Why did that become the places you decided to continue to play at?
Yeah, so when I was at Little Rock, it was during COVID.
Mm.
So our season was up and down, up and down. And then honestly, from the people in Little Rock, and this is probably bad to say, well, not really bad, but people might look at it different than my point of view. But when I was in Little Rock, when people found out that I was coming back home, honestly, everybody was upset with me, if I'm just being real, just because of what Little Rock is. You know, everybody wanted better for me. They felt like that I was at a better place and those type of things. And so my mom, of course, my family thinks they were happy that I was home, but at the same time, they wanted better for me. And of course they were happy that they could come to all of my games and those things. But like I said, I was there during COVID and I see my family every day, literally every day. And we have a family shop called Walker Wreck and Repair back home. Shout out to my uncle New. And I would go up there and help them out from time to time, with the family business and those type of things. And just some COVID protocols that I feel like wasn't being upheld and was going to put me and my family at risk type of things. And so I decided to opt out. But during that time, I continued to work out. I really got into the best shape of my life because I was just working out every day on the ground, like trying to stay out the way. I'm not playing, but that don't mean you can just go back and doing whatever you want to do. So I really sat down and just had to really have a real conversation with myself and figure out what I wanted for my future. And so I had some talks with a couple of my friends and family. And literally, when I put my name in the portal, I wasn't telling anybody about the schools that was recruiting me because I just wanted this decision to be solely on me and really come from my heart. And so Coach Gurley called me, our head coach. She was the first person I talked to from there. And she was just like, I watched the game, la da da da, we good. She was like, and I was like, yeah, I haven't heard much about Texas Tech, but I started looking them up, doing research, those type of things. And she was like, well, what do you want from this recruitment? And I just straight up told her, I was like, you know what I can do as a player, or you wouldn't be calling. And I just told her that I'm really looking for a place that cares more about me as a person, as equally or more than a player. And instantly, I had already felt that
Yeah.
vibe from her, which is why I was able to come at her with that. And so that whole recruiting process was more about her getting to know me as a person, getting to know my values, getting to know my goals, my dreams, and those type of things, and not who I was as a basketball player. Because, like I said, you already know that. And so just I could just tell that she was a great person. And talking to her staff, I could tell that they were great people. And so I made the decision. Told my mom it was between them and another school. And I was like, but this one is 9 hours away. And my mom was immediately like, ah. And I was like, Ma, just get on the Zoom call with me. You know what I'm saying? So we got on the Zoom call, we did all that. And she was like, this where you want to go? And I was like, yeah. Like she just knew instantly after the Zoom call, and we set up the visit, and all those things. And yeah, I committed. And since I've been here, who they were recruiting me is who they remain to be. And literally, I'm just so grateful to be somewhere like this because in college basketball, you don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
It's a business for a lot of people, a lot of coaches. And so for her and the staff to treat me and see me as a person first and then handle me as a player, it's like what you could ask of a coach. Like especially in today's world, like so many people are in it for and treat it as a business. But she try to make real genuine relationships and connections with people, and she's been like this since I've been here. And literally, I'm really grateful to be here because man, I've never had a coach on a college level that a head coach that's so invested in her players and want to get to know them as much as she does.
Bree, what are things outside of basketball that are your hobbies that you like to do outside of the game? What are some of the things that keep you occupied?
Um, so I like to go to the gun range.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I know, right? I like to go to the gun range. I shoot a lot. And then I like to make TikToks. I don't really post a lot on my TikTok like I used to, but I make them. And then really I like to shop. I'm a sneakerhead like crazy. I've just picked up some cream Air Forces
My
today.
lord.
Um, yeah, I just did that. But I really just, go to the gun range, make TikToks, and I shop. I just shop too much. Mom, if you hear this, I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry.
I want to tell you because just seeing you lately at Texas Tech and just
Hmm.
seeing the content around you guys, you just seem very happy.
Yeah.
And your vibe has been very good. Um, what's it been like being there just so far? I know you guys haven't started yet, but what's it like being around those girls and that group of staff? And, and honestly, how much of a great feeling has it been to be around a good environment that you kind of really need?
Yeah, man, it's been great. I mean, since I've gotten to Texas Tech, it's been nothing but great vibes, great energy, a whole lot of love. I'm extremely happy here.
Hmm.
Like you see it on the pictures, my Instagram, all that. Like I am extremely happy. Like it's not a fluke. It's not just for the pictures or anything like that. Um, so like I said before, I would get homesick, and I've been like just so around great people that like they take my mind off of those things.
Hmm.
And not to say that I still don't get homesick, but it's nowhere near like what I used to be. And man, part a lot of it has to do with my teammates. Like we are so close. Like we do a lot together. We just enjoy being around each other. We're all good people. Everybody can be themselves around us. Like there's no judgment. And man, when we went to Greece this summer, and that really got us extremely closer. Like we were already close, but the Greece trip just really brought us together. And so just being around great people, and then just being in West Texas and love it. Like we were the first team wide issue NIL deal that happened for women's. And so like the community here just thrives and like supports us and uplifts us so much. And it's just a great feeling to be felt like to feel that way in a community in a world where men's basketball is always the it thing and people talk down on women's basketball so much. And so just being here, man, just being loved and being cared for as a person and not just the athlete is it's been great. And I am extremely happy to be here. I'm excited that I chose this place to play my last 2 years because it was a great decision.
This can be high school, AAU, anytime throughout your collegiate career. Has there been who's been the toughest player that you've played up and went up against? Is there any
The
specific
toughest
person?
player I've played against, I'm gonna name off three. So one would be probably Kennedy Carter,
Okay.
Sabrina Ionescu,
Okay.
and probably Satu Sabi.
Okay. Oh, I love that too.
And all three of those are in the league. So that
Yeah.
says a lot.
Yeah.
But those are probably just the three toughest players I've had to play against just because I've had to defend them. Let's just start.
Hmm.
I've had to defend them. So that would be the toughest part. But yeah, those three would probably be the top of my list for sure.
Three people, dead or alive, that you could have dinner with. Who would they be and why?
You said three people what?
Three people, dead or alive, you could have dinner with. Who would they be and why?
Dead or alive that I could have dinner with. So the first one would be my granny.
Okay.
Because that was literally my best friend. She passed when I was 13. Her birthday is January 2nd, mine is January 7th. Like that was my best friend. I grew up, me and my cousin. We were the only kids for the longest, so we were always with Granny, always with Granny. And we just, like I said, that was my best friend. If I could just sit down and just have a conversation with her and just like listen to her tell me about just how proud that she is of me and where I'm at in life and the things that I've accomplished, that would just be great. If I could just give her a hug, like that would just be great. And then if I could have dinner with LeBron James, I definitely have dinner with Brun because man, he came from some not the same background as me, but like he got it out the mud, you know,
Hmm.
and he's been in the spotlight since he was a teenager. And so just to see like you haven't heard anything bad about him in the news and or those type of things. So really just to ask him like how has he been able to keep his head so leveled and accomplish all the things that he has and those type of things like that. And then the third person, I think it would be like Chris Brown, just because like I'm a fangirl. Like Chris, man, what's up? Like I don't even want to have a conversation. Like let's just go out. Like let's party. Let's kick it. Let's go to dinner or something. Like let's just to be in the presence of Chris Brown. Like it's Chris Brown, and my nickname Breezy, and he is Breezy. So like it just makes sense. Shout out to Chris Brown, man.
I love your honesty. Honestly, I really do. Some people are like stuck up when it comes to that question. Like I want your honest answer. So I love your responses for that.
Yeah.
Bree, what's your end goal? After you eventually get out of Texas Tech, what is your end goal? Like, what do you want to
Mhm.
accomplish the most?
Yeah, so my dream, of course, is to make it to the WNBA. And then if that don't work out, because you know it's really hard, but it's gonna work out. I would like to play overseas professionally, just some professional on some type of level. And then my goal is to come back home, build a gym, have my own gym in Little Rock. Um, and then I also want to coach, whether it's AAU, having my own AAU team on a collegiate level or high school level. I just want to coach and give back to the youth. And, you know, if I could do it at home in Arkansas, that would be great just because it could show girls like, hey, like she's been where I want to get to, or not even just girls, anybody there. And so, yeah, that's my ultimate goal. But my first goal is to make it to the WNBA or play professionally. And then I'm really passionate, like serious about opening up my own gym back home just because we need more private gyms and those
Yeah.
things in Little Rock to where, you
Mhm.
know, if you just want to go in, You can, and it don't have to be a high school or something like that. So that's the goal.
I was genuinely going to ask you, have you ever thought about coaching? Because I say that because I feel like coaches need a sense of variety that players don't have. Like they just have to be
Yeah,
brutally honest and upfront with what they're saying. And I really get that vibe off you, and I feel like you would be
yeah,
really good at that. So
for sure.
I wanted to talk about Team USA. What was that experience like for you, and how surreal was it for you to just be able to put that jersey on and just represent not even just a team, not a university,
Yeah.
but your country. How what was that experience like?
Man, really, when I heard that we were gonna be representing Team USA, I was really excited because not everybody gets the opportunity. Like, and so for me, to be a part of that, it was really special. And it was took me out of the country again. We were in
Hmm.
Italy, but just to put USA across your chest, it is like that's one of the highest honors, like highest moments that you could like experience in life. And it was just a surreal experience, a real like I've like finally done something like special. Like even though I've done like great things, like just putting on that USA jersey and representing your country is nothing like it. And unfortunately we didn't win gold, but we won silver. And but it was just overall a great experience. Hopefully I have some more opportunities in the future to represent Team USA because I mean it's your country. Like who doesn't want to represent your country? And so yeah, it was just a really good experience for me. I enjoyed it a lot. Very grateful for the opportunity as well.
This is a question, but before I end, that I always love to ask because it kind of grasps everything together. And it's two questions in one. And I know you've given some advice about different things, but what's one piece of advice, like in general, that you would love to share with people? What's the biggest piece of advice that you love to share? And secondly, legacy is something that I talk about very often.
Mm-hmm.
What what legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to remember about Bre'Amber Scott forever and always?
Yeah. So the one piece of advice that I will leave is for you to always be true to who yourself, be who you are. A lot of things that happen along the way, but as long as you know who you are as a person, you're being true to yourself, your morals, your values, like, and just have self respect, that you'll be fine. Like, you don't have to get validation or from anybody just because they may not think that you're doing it the way that they think that you should do it. Just be true to yourself, be who you are, and always believe in yourself and the dreams and goals that you have in mind for yourself. And then as far as my legacy goes, really I just want to be leave behind and be known as just somebody who always remembered where she came from and where it all started. Because no matter how big I get, um, a lot of people forget where it all started at and where it came from. But me, I just don't ever want to forget like the people that helped me along the way. Um, Little Rock in particular. Any chance I get, I want to put Little Rock on the map. And I just want to be known as somebody who loved her community, cared about her community, always wanted to bring as much attention as she could to her community, and somebody who's just working for her community. Because in the end, it's not about what I've done if I don't influence somebody, if I can't impact somebody, if I'm not helping somebody get to where I was or be bigger and better than what I am. And so I just want to be known as somebody who cared, loving, and who did everything that she could to bring attention to her state and her community.
Thank you for that. And this is the part that most of my people tell me they don't really care to hear about, but I say thank you on so many different levels. Not only for what you've done in the game, but reaching out to me, reaching back out to me, because everyone doesn't do that. So thank you for
Yeah.
that. But thank you for your brute and honesty, and your advice that you've given,
Mm-hmm.
um, because that is my goal to give people a platform to speak on, but also allow others to hear advice and wisdom that they may need to get through their week.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that, because it means a lot to me, for you to be able to come on here and say that, and for others to maybe use it and maybe get better in their life. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Anytime, anytime.
Bree, before I wrap up, I want to ask you, could you give out your social medias, Instagram, Twitter, anything that you have that people can follow you on to reach out to you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Bree.Scott. That's BRE.Scott, SCOTT, two underscores, and that's it. And then my Twitter name is Bre'Amber, BREAMBER S, Bre'Amber S. And my Facebook is Bre'Amber Scott too for the older people, because I know y'all still be on Facebook. But yeah, follow me on there, man. I'll follow back. Just don't be weird.
Mm. Emphasis on that. Emphasis on that.
Yeah,
Big time.
emphasis on don't be weird.
Bree, any shout outs you want to give to anyone?
Man, just shout out to my family, shout out to my friends, shout out to Little Rock, man,
Mm.
501. You know what it is.
I want to send our love and support towards you this season. Wishing you nothing but great success and healthiness. We got your back and your support, and we're always tuning in as much as possible as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, thank you. Thank you for coming on, reaching back out to me, and sharing your story. I'm glad I got you before the season started. Like, I really mean that, because I know once you guys get to playing, that your schedule is hectic as I don't know what.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and I would love to have you back on at some point down the road.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And,
Anytime, anytime.
thank you. And thank you guys for watching and listening. I hope you guys took what I learned from this episode, and advanced it. Allow it to allow you to see that there are so many great people in this world. So continue working and loving the people around you. Tell your people you love them tonight. This morning, whenever you watch or hear this, tell the people around you that you love them. That is so important. And thank you guys for tuning in. It means so much, and forever and always, God bless everyone. Thank you.